Hi, everyone. I'm Kristi Whitfield. I'm the Director of the Department of Small and Local Business Development, and this is part of our Building Back Better series. Today, I am talking with Adriana Mendoza, and she is one of the curators, or the curator of Femme Fatale. We are talking about pivots during the COVID-19 crisis, and we are talking about just making change and getting through. So, Adriana, welcome. Thank you for talking with us today.
Thank you for having me.
So Femme Fatale is a great collaborative of makers and creatives. DSLBD was really excited to work with the Mount Vernon SID and help you find a space that was empty at 400 Mass Ave and build a beautiful space, which I think you're in. So tell us a little bit about your space right now.
Yeah, so right now our space is a little bit under 2,000 square feet. Last year we had a space that was 600 square feet, which actually allowed us to know that we don't have to have this huge space for retail. And so in this space, we were able to have about 600 square feet of retail space and accommodate about 50 to 70 entrepreneurs throughout these past few months. And then we also have this huge event space that we host different events such as yoga, musical events, workshops, art workshops, really giving people space to let their ideas out. We definitely love to invite people who have an idea, but they just need space to articulate it and share it with other people. So we were really lucky to have a space that gives us access to hosting events.
Well, DSLBD actually had one of our staff meetings there at the end of the year, where I did a little holiday shopping because you had so many really amazing events, and there's like a really cool chandelier in the center. I mean, so this place is a really cool place and a place that people would love to go to, except now we have social distancing. And so you are pivoting, and you're pivoting to online sales. And so you've got this great space, but it's, harder to get to, and we're not able to go there. And so, you and I had talked about how people have to pivot, and creatives and the creative economy is such an important part of our entrepreneurial fabric. And we've got all of these great entrepreneurs that do such cool things that help them make extra money and help them, pay for things for their families and support themselves. And that, they can still do this, but you're pivoting to an online platform, and that you really wanted everything to be absolutely perfect. And that is not really accessible in this very imperfect world. So talk to us a little bit about being perfect in an imperfect world.
Yeah, I think that we all struggle with that, as a human nature, right? Of wanting to strive to be perfect. And what that does, and I see it so much with our entrepreneurs, is that we stop ourselves from going to the next level, trying to attain the ideas and the creative ideas that we have because we want it to look a certain way, the way that it looks in our head. And, I'm definitely in that same boat. Having this online shop has been on our radar and in our staff meetings. I think the staff has gotten, tired of us always saying, okay, one of our next goals is to launch this e-commerce, right? We've been saying it for such a long time. But, this time has given us the space to focus on the e-commerce, and also just mentally being okay with understanding that we're going to be learning through this process. I think that being an entrepreneur, being a creative entrepreneur, especially, the most important thing is to be mentally level, like to have everything in your mind be stable so that you can bring those ideas to fruition without panicking. Because when you're able to talk yourself down from trying to be perfect and all those thoughts, the imposter syndrome, everything that comes along with that, it allows us to make the necessary steps that we need to take, right? So, I'm lucky that we were able to retain our staff that have been helping. Those are, our motivators. Those are my motivators to get this done. They keep me accountable, and they have really been, with me and my business partner and creating this and developing this online platform. And again, this is just going to be it's not necessarily a pivot for us because this was already in the works, but I'm excited to see where this goes, because again, what I have in my mind, one of the things was, how do we bring the Femme Fatale DC vibe to the virtual, the virtual world? And so I have this idea in my mind of how to do that, but we're just not there yet. Monetarily, we need funding for it to be able to do that. But at least this is a start, and we begin to work out the kinks. So that's where mentally, I've just set myself up for that. This is a time to research and to learn, and that makes it so much easier, right? Because I'm not expecting something that isn't.
You hit on a bunch of things, Adriana, that I think I really want to underscore. Thing number one is that people are very patient right now with tries. Give yourself a break and try, and don't expect it to be perfect. And I think also, you mentioned some other support systems around you. You have business partners and you have support systems around you, and then take a few steps, right? You were a little blocked, and you sort of wanted it to have this big concept, and you had all of these thoughts around how you get this perfect vibe and get the whole thing of Femme Fatale, and you got the store and all of these things. And I think this, they say the perfect is the enemy of the good, but you need sales, right? And sometimes people get blocked and they don't do anything, and you feel stuck because you have so many things. But so that first step, and then tweak, and that next step, and then tweak, and then the next thing you're sort of making progress. And I think, we have talked to a lot of creatives who have felt like online isn't what I do. I'm a creative, and I make art, and the commerce isn't my strength, and I would say, mash up, or maybe find somebody, or find a place like Femme Fatale that has a lot of other creatives. But I think there are ways to make those connections. Maybe say something a little bit about what Femme Fatale does for the creatives in the community that you've created at Femme Fatale.
Sure. Yeah. It's it's almost 4 years since we began this journey, and I think that by looking back at our history, we have always had to pivot, right? And when I really look at hindsight, that's kind of what our model is, because even when we, our first pop-up, we thought that was just one and done, and we didn't know it was going to happen. But here we are at our fifth iteration. And so, what that first pop-up really showed us the need for support and community to help women creatives bring out the best versions of themselves. And that is, their best versions of themselves is when they are able to express their creativity, the things that really, and what that spark is. When you do something and it sparks something in you, that is what we do. And we realize that we provide space for women to do that, so that they can make money, so that they can just continue to spark and fuel themselves. And by doing that, we understand, really, we are this hub, and the idea is it's just like an ecosystem, right? There's the center, and then it radiates out. And that is ultimately how we can create change in this larger society, right? We start with our local ecosystem of women. And through them, when they continue to do what really fuels them, they then radiate it out to the world, to the other parts of the community. And that's what we've been able to see, right? So after 4 years, it took a very long time for us to realize what we are and what our strength is. We are this women resource-rich ecosystem, right? Where we feed the ecosystem, feed and we receive, and then we put back out. And so it's just this continual cycle of giving and receiving. And we've seen so many now. At the time that we started, the pop-up was a very new concept. And now we see so many other collectives that they were part of the Femme Fatale DC ecosystem, and now they have their own pop-ups that are generating a lot of money. We have one starting this year. It actually was last month that they started up, and different groups who create workshops now. And so they're also generating new money for themselves, not just, just within the Femme Fatale DC ecosystem, but within their own ecosystem as well. And that is what we realized what we're here and meant to do.
So where can they find you? What is your website, Adriana?
So our website is www.femmefataledc.com, as well as on Instagram, which is Femme Fatale, which is a place that we provide inspiration and resources for women or whoever wants to come. Because one of the things, our motto used to be for women, by women, but now we've changed that by women for all, because, and especially in this newest location, it's been amazing. We've had a lot of gentlemen come in here and actually co-work out of our space, which has been phenomenal. So, it's just interesting to, this time also has provided us space to really analyze what we wanted, who we are. And I know that for me was a very scary thing, because I'm like, no, we should know who we are. But the reality is that we're always evolving as businesses, as people. And so I'm okay with that. And so now I understand that we are a space that supports feminine energy, whether it's feminine energy in the masculine gender or the female gender.
Well, and I think that's beautiful. I think that one of the things that has been, an honor as my job as the director is to support, creatives that come through businesses like yours, finding places and finding those matches, like seeing what has happened at 400 Mass Ave, and then seeing the pieces that grow out of it and flourish through it. The entrepreneurial spirit is strong, and finding the pieces of those businesses that will continue to be strong. I think the things that you are experiencing and helping other people experience through their business is one of the reasons we wanted to talk to you. And, and we really appreciate your time today. So tell us your website one more time in case people want to talk to you.
Yeah, it is www.femmefataledc.com.
Thank you so much for
Thank you.
Today. And we look forward to supporting your website, and then hopefully visiting you soon at 400 Mass Ave Northwest in the near future.
Yes.
Watching everybody. My name is Kristi Whitfield. I'm the director of the Department of Small Local Business Development, and this is part of our Build Back Better series.